think she looks?
Tell me how.
You look like something that you would find in like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. Like, wow.
All right, weird Riz. But what's even stranger is the fact that his grown woman is being all flirtatious with what looks like a very young Jaden Smith. But like 40 is saying, this does not get the kind of heat that it does when the tables are reversed. So this video is called The Predators, or the Preds, that society accepts. And of course, they're all women. Women can do no wrong in this world, guys.
Where we going, bro? This guy crazy.
I don't know if you can tell what's happening here. LeBron James is going down the upwards flowing escalator trying to escape these 304s that are chasing him down like a pack of bloodhounds.
What you just saw is a bunch of groupies following LeBron trying to get him to slip up. And luckily, he's not new to this. He's true to this. You feel me? He's an OG. He's a vet. He went down the escalator that was going up.
Can you imagine how much box
But I want you to
LeBron
imagine
James
this. Imagine you're a 20-year-old NBA rookie. You just got drafted. You got millions in the bank account. You're playing in the league with some of the guys you looked up to growing up. Life is golden. But what you don't realize is that everyone is eyeing your success and your wallet. And no, I'm not talking about your agent or those newfound family members that just started coming around in the last couple of months. I'm talking about the gold diggers. You see, when most people think about predators, they think about these older men who are sometimes wealthy, you know, they tend to be creepy, going after these younger women. But what we're here to talk about today is a predator that most people don't see coming. The older female predators who prey on young successful men. And look, before I get started with this video, I have nothing against legal age gap relationships. If you guys are both consenting adults, you can love whoever you want. But today we're here to expose these older women who've taken advantage of these young successful men and use them for their money. Meet 39-year-old Drea Michelle. This dude you see right here is her 22-year-old son, Nico. And you see what they're doing in this clip is sitting courtside in Drea Michelle's 22-year-old NBA boyfriend Jalen Green's game. I ain't gonna lie, I couldn't imagine someone who's not only the same age group as me, but the same exact age as me being in the father
39 and 22 is crazy, man.
Bigger role in my life. That's just insane, I ain't gonna lie. But that's a topic for another video. You see, my issue with these couples that have these huge age gaps is you question whether or not the love is genuine. Because I'm a strong believer that to even get to the point where you love someone, you gotta have that initial interest. And no, I'm not talking about interest on a physical level because you see people who you find attractive every single day. I'm talking about genuinely having things in common. For example, hobbies, activities, aspirations. What could this young man in his early 20s have in common with?
I'll be real, man. I don't think I got a lot of things in common with my wife. I'll be real with you, bro. I don't know if that's so important for you to have similar interests or anything like that.
This significantly older mother, especially when it's a mother that has a son the same age as him. I mean, just look at this insane story post she made. I don't want to figure it out on my own. I want to call my man. Y'all is crazy. Excuse me one sec. Call Jalen. I'm genuinely wondering how she didn't cringe enough to just not write that statement. How does she shift her brain so she doesn't feel like she's addressing her son when she's talking to him? And it's just hard to imagine that a dude in his late teens, early 20s has that much in common with an...
But that's also another thing. Like, this is something that young dudes like 4D Sham here, and I imagine some of the people watching this video, what you don't understand, you look at people in their 30s and 40s and 50s, and you say, oh, you know, you're pushing 30, you're pushing 40. Oh, what you don't realize is once you get to your late 20s, all you really gain from there is experience and wisdom from living life. And if you continue to educate yourself, but you don't start to see yourself as getting older. It's weird. It's like you look in the mirror and you see you're getting older, but it's like, in a way, you still feel like you're the same person you were when you're like 27. I'd say, yeah, things continue to progress all the way up until around 25 to 27. Why? Because that's when your brain stops developing. But after that point, you don't really feel like you're getting older. So the point I'm making here is I can see how a 39-year-old woman, she in her brain, in a lot of ways, still sees herself as a 20-something-year-old person. Like, she hasn't changed. I hope what I'm saying is coming through clearly.
Older lady. And that's the thing that makes me question, okay, is this an organic relationship or is there some sort of...
I would say, for sure, if a dude is clapping an older woman, it's only because he's attracted to her. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you could say there's some underlying emotional issues as well. Maybe he has some mommy problems. But beyond that, I mean, why else would a rich, famous basketball player in his 20s be with a woman in her 30s unless he thinks that she's super fine?
Ulterior motive behind it, because there are legit women out there who have made it their profession to finesse, swindle these men out
And
of
an older woman, I'm sure she can treat you real good. You know what I'm saying? Life has humbled her a little bit. She's gotten a little older. You know, she has some experience under her belt. She really knows what she's doing down there, if you know what I'm saying. I can see why a dude would fall for an older chick.
Their money. And look, again, I'm not trying to be the relationship police. I have nothing against age gap relationships, but the consequences when these relationships go wrong are huge on the young man, because there's always the possibility that you might have a child with the lady, and now you have to deal with child support.
Not if she's almost 40.
Can cost like 6 figures a month if you have that type of money. Or let's say, for example, this athlete happens to marry the lady.
Also, that can happen with a younger woman.
And he doesn't sign a prenup, which that isn't even crazy to think, because a lot of these young guys are head over heels over these ladies because they're so good at manipulating these men. So now imagine this young dude marries this older lady, and down the line he sees all the red flags that he didn't see before as he grows and matures, and now they get a divorce. Now she's walking off with millions of his money. There's literally a study that shows that professional athletes lose 60% of their earnings within 5 years of retirement. And these bad relationships play a huge role in that. And look, I will say that she's completely changed her life around now, but one of the people who was known for this type of behavior was Brittany Renner. I mean, she was so known for it in the past that Deion Sanders had her come and talk to his football players.
Yeah, where was Travis Hunter during this
my name is Brittany
conversation?
Renner, aka
I think that's him right here. Look, I think this Travis right here, but no, you know, guess he didn't listen.
I have been on social media for almost...
Joe took notes all year, but now you want to take And that's how the game starts, with the phone.
Right.
They're going on Instagram and they see you. Take us on the journey of how this is played out.
I mean, honey,
this is insane,
I
though.
feel like
Deion is like, hey, we need some professional thought advice for these young college guys. What's your speaking fee?
my DMs, it's like a Nike store. There's nothing but checks. So it just, for me, I feel like
Hold on. They missed that game.
I'm talking heavy hitters. Some of y'all's favorite rappers.
That was low-key a double entendre. It's nothing but checks, meaning blue check marks, but also dudes she can get money off of. You feel me? Nothing but checks in the DMs.
NBA players, football players. It's like, to me, once you reach that level just of popularity, the world is your oyster. You can do whatever you want. If you play a sport, it's kind of like, well, that's an incentive to talk to you. A lot of times, women, men in general, everybody wants something.
Thank you.
Everybody wants something. So it's like, even if we both have our own thing going on, me still being with you is a good look because you boost my stock. To be able to decipher who really loves you for you, I think that's like the billion-dollar question we're all wanting to know.
And you see, the crazy thing about these types
Bro, that doesn't exist. You got to know what you bring to the table. And you should be well aware of what you want the other person to bring to the table. And that is what a relationship is going to be built on. Any delusion about that, I mean, well, you might as well just sign the divorce papers now. Because this idea that, oh, I just love you because of, I like, you know, you're funny. Bro, nah. It's always about options and what you bring to the table, bro. That's what it's always about.
Situations is that there's a huge double standard. For example, just a couple days ago, a 22-year-old man was ambushed and beaten for linking up with an 18-year-old girl.
Police here telling me that a group of students used the Tinder dating app to lure a man to campus so he could meet up with a teenage girl.
Okay, I don't even think you can be on Tinder if you're not 18. So technically, he didn't do anything to break the law, even though that age gap is a little weird.
And once he showed up, he was allegedly beaten up by this group of students, even though police say he did nothing wrong.
And this is a huge side note, and I'm by no means trying to support predators, but for people who try to catch predators, please don't try to do some vigilante work where you're doing all the investigation by yourself and whatnot. Do it the legal way. Because when you get to the point where you actually want to put the guy in jail, the police might not be able to put him in jail because of the way you obtained the evidence. All that's going to do is put the predator on alert, and now he's going to be moving even sneakier and he's going to be harder to catch. But back to the conversation of double standards. See, I know someone's gonna come in my comments and say that men do the same thing all the time, they're just not necessarily after the money. And look, I totally agree, but see, the difference is when the man is the older partner in an age gap relationship, the man is usually more successful and has a lot more clout. For example, Jeff Bezos and his ex-wife. After they divorced, she became a billionaire. And there's numerous occasions of stuff like this happening where a woman marries a wealthy man and then after they divorce, she runs off with his wealth. Which again, I'm not trying to justify anything here, but I'm just saying it's usually worse for the dudes. I think that might be the reason why Leonardo DiCaprio hasn't gotten married to this point. Dude just keeps dating models that are 25 years old and younger and lives his life. And I also gotta talk about how different men and women are treated in these type of situations. A perfect example is Zoe Kravitz. After the situation went down with Will Smith slapping Chris Rock, she made a couple of posts online that threw shade at the Smith family. So basically, people started digging up old comments that Zoe Kravitz had made about Jaden Smith.
I'll be really passionate. Jaden! Sorry.
Great! Perfect!
You made
I've been
it.
looking for you for the past forever.
I dragged him out tonight.
Oh my gosh.
Literally dragged you? This is my date.
Oh my gosh, I've been looking for you for 45 minutes
Don't leave.
casually.
I wanna hey, just don't
Okay,
leave.
yes,
Don't leave.
I'm-
Hang on. Tell him how amazing she looks. Tell me how.
You look like something that you would find in like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
That's
Like,
right. That's
wow.
right. Keep him.
All right, weird Riz. But what's even stranger is the fact that this grown woman is being all flirtatious with what looks like a very young Jaden Smith. But like 40 is saying, this does not get the kind of heat that it does when the tables are reversed.
Him around. Don't leave. Sorry, that's like my love of my life.
What did he
The
say
love
you
of my life. I wonder what the age difference is right here.
look like? He
Willy
said,
Wonka is something in Willy Wonka should That's what like a 16-year-old says to you as a compliment. It's great.
16,
what was I
okay.
saying?
How
I
old
don't
is
he's your
she?
date for tonight.
Yes, I dragged him out. I texted him.
Could you imagine if this was a dude? Could you imagine it? I mean, look at how they did Drake, right? For grinding up on that 17-year-old chick at his concert, which was definitely weird and out of pocket. But still, that was like a 23-year-old Drake with a 17-year-old girl. Here we have a 16-year-old Jaden Smith. She definitely looks like she's in her 20s by here. And nobody's going to even bat an eye. But that's where we live in, man. Men are not women and women are not men. We have different rules to play by. And the sooner you just come to terms with that, the sooner this shit can get out your way.
Said you have to come, so he did. I love him.
And see, I think it's great that they called her out about it, but how come they didn't call her out about it when it first happened? They only called her out about it when she got in the midst of this altercation between Will Smith and Chris Rock. So something huge had to happen just to call attention to something that was obviously wrong. Now, don't get me wrong, there are situations in these age gap relationships where the lady isn't gold digging, obviously. A great example is the Ball brothers, for example, Mellow Ball and Jello Ball, where both of them are in a relationship with an older lady who has her own money. Plus, LeVar Ball approves of their relationship, so I'm sure they got nothing to worry about.
Jello, Nikki. Yeah. Oh my God, I love her. This is the only one that got her own spot in Beverly Hills. Everybody thinking she a gold digger and got a youngster. No, he said these other girls I'm dealing with have no sense. Everybody talking all this stuff. She business-fied. Her family like that. Right. Her mom talk business.
Look, man, if you a young dude in your 20s and you don't want a ton of kids, maybe you want 1 or 2 kids, and you find a chick that's a bit older than you and she's bad and she's nice and good to you and she still looks young and she's still young enough to give you a kid or two, personally, if that's what you want to do, I don't see a problem with that. Only thing I'll say is as she starts to age and you get older and older, you know what I'm saying? I wonder how that does to you as a man in terms of making you kind of looking at other women. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're 30 and you're still pretty much in your prime as a dude and your wife is about to be 40 and you're successful and good looking, how difficult is it to remain faithful at that point? So that's one additional reason why I would say that it is still preferable to date a woman that's either your age or younger.
They talk business to Jello about business. Mm-hmm. So this is the part.
Ideally younger.
She had a Lamborghini Urus. She's driving that, the baby seat in the back. Mm-hmm. She says, it's too small. I got to get another ride. I think I'm going to get that Cullinan. Yeah. Rolls Royce Cullinan. Rolls Royce, yeah. 2 weeks later, she get that. Not using my son's money, using her money. Her own money. The woman that Mello has, Anna, like her, love her. Anna is like, everybody's stuck on that thing like, oh, she's so old, he's so young. She a woman. These other girls is pushing buttons to make these basketball players go crazy, and now they beating them and strangling them and all that, and they losing their whole career. He always played up 6 and 7 years, so he a little more older than what he is. So of course he's not gonna pick the girlfriend type from high school. He gonna try to gravitate to a woman.
If you know LeVar Ball, you know how much he cares about his sons, how much
those are some good-looking women, man. You know, hey, do what you do.
he's invested in them, and just how intelligent he is. So he would never go for anything like that. So to my fellow young successful dudes, if you find a woman like this who has things going for herself and you can tell genuinely cares about you, and the people whose opinions you value in your life also approve of her, yeah, go ahead and do it. But otherwise, please don't be another cautionary tale. If you made it this far,
yeah, man. So just be aware of that. These women, they're devious, man. They're conniving. You just got to be aware of that. I don't think necessarily, though, it's always a bad thing for there to be an age gap, whether it's a dude with an older chick or a girl with a much older guy. At the end of the day, you just got to be aware of red flags, and that's not always easy. But trust your gut. If you see something, take note of it. Don't just write it off as you overthinking. And if it happens more than once, well, you got to pay attention to that. At the end of the day, people are going to love who they love, man. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And until next time, peace out.